And Bret is a partner here in the Innovation Hub leadership team, where he is helping us study the impact of innovation spaces on students in higher education. So really interesting work, and we're glad to have him here. The format of this event, if it hasn't become apparent, is that
we play video games.
Yeah, we play video games, and we do all kinds of stuff with our guests, but we have them pick the activity they would like to do while we have a discussion. You've probably seen this format before. So the goal of this particular type of interview is to find out about how faculty innovators started out, what their interests are, and why what they do is important in having an impact in the world. And what motivates them. We've tried to dig into the passion of faculty to find out really what makes them tick. And students rarely have a chance to hear that, right? So I think this is valuable to everyone. So Bret, let's go way back.
All right.
When you were sitting in a chair in your innovation hub as an undergraduate.
Yep, back in the day, yeah.
Back in the day. So what were you studying? What was your degree?
I was a math and sociology major. I started as a math major because I love calculus. And yeah, I love proofwriting and abstract systems coming together. And then I picked up sociology because I was really interested in people and wanted to understand how people connect with each other and how we can understand people at the group level. And that really led me into a lot of training and development. So that was my first career. I did a lot of training and development, particularly with undergraduate students. And we got to a point where I was really tired of hearing myself talk. And so I'm like, there's got to be a better way to teach people how to do stuff than me stand up and talk for 45 minutes.
Okay.
And so I had gone through a
series. Let's back up for a second. First off, how many math sociology majors here?
Yes, math?
That's what I thought.
People? We gotta reach out to math.
So it's an interesting insight already into our character. And also, so your undergrad degree was?
It was in. I almost fell off. It was in math and sociology.
I'm not distracting you, am I?
No, it's fine. This is my general.
And so, upon graduation, did you always think that you'd go on to grad school, or?
I mean, the original plan was I thought I was going to get a math PhD, and my professors were really encouraging. And again, because I loved it. I loved the abstract. I loved proofwriting. Just the whole academic thing. I think in high school, part of what guided me that way is that I love teaching.
Oh, wait, is this the mountaintops of the giants?
Yeah, we're just kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all the snowy area up here, so it's all just gonna be a bunch of snow.
Well, maybe. So let's figure out the purpose of this game. Let's jump aside a second and look at the game.
Sure.
Tell us about what we're playing here.
Okay, so this game is called Elden Ring. It is in a long series of games that started with a game called Demon Souls, and then there were a number of Dark Souls games, and generally just a whole philosophy of gaming that was meant to be extremely difficult and punish the player or respect the player is a more positive way of saying it, but it is meant to be challenging. And so this is probably, a lot of people say this is one of the easier entries into that series, in part because it's just a giant open world. So part of what we're doing is we can literally go anywhere in any order. There are a couple kind of checkpoints that you can't get past until you beat a boss. But for the most part, you can just wander around. And that makes it easier. We'll talk about this later as we talk about the learning process. But it makes it a little bit easier because the older versions of the previous titles in the series, it was basically just a series of hallways. And so you walk down a hallway and you have to figure out how to beat that boss before you can walk to the next hallway. And there's not really anything else you can do. And so again, it's really hard because you have to figure out how to get past that checkpoint. Whereas here, if you hit something, and even today, like if we get bored, we'll just go somewhere else. We'll do something else. And in that process, you can improve your skills, you can get better gear, you can level up. And so then when you can, at some point, you can come back to that thing that was really challenging, and it'll be a lot easier.
And every one of those circles are places you can go.
Yeah, so all these little yellow things are they're called sites of grace, and they're just the gods and goddesses in the game. They're helping you progress through this world
to the ultimate goal of
becoming the next Elden Lord. Okay. So like to rule over the land. if you can manage it.
I want to be that.
Yeah, I think you can do it. I have
right.
confidence in you.
Okay.
We'll set you up with a couple easy trials, and
Oh,
we'll see how you do.
Okay. So, any math majors here? Any math majors? Okay. So you're not speaking to the choir here.
No,
but just
all good. Yeah.
So you're somehow your math PhD was derailed somewhere along the line?
No. Well, I mean, I decided, okay, so this was in the early 2000s when I was going through, and late 90s, early 2000s, and there was a documentary at that point about somebody who was trying to prove this unprovable theorem, and they had spent like 10 years in the third floor of their house, like only coming down to eat with their family, and otherwise they were just like living in their attic, trying to prove this thing. And I think it was very formative because I'm like, I like people too much. I don't want my career to be sitting around and trying to figure out math proofs on my own. I wanted to pursue something where I could be around other people a lot more. And so that's when I went into more like the training and development route.
I had a similar moment in computer science where I changed course because I didn't want to be in a cubicle programming.
Yep.
And it's not what all computer scientists do, by the way. But so you got your PhD.
Eventually, yeah. I worked in training for about 15 years before I went back for the PhD.
What kind of training?
Leadership development, team building, technology adoption. Yeah, so a lot of innovative stuff.
Yeah, more of the sociology side. Then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Ooh, this would be fun.
What's happening?
So when that little there's like a little gravestone, and when that pops up, you can bring a friend. Basically, phone in a friend. So now I can pay attention less because my friend will help.
Your friend will take care of it.
Well, and it's like a ghost. So the ghost will fight things for us. And anyway.
Can you see the screen? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I'm half looking, but yeah. It's
okay.
Fine. I'm not. Yeah. We'll worry about hard stuff later.
Yeah, I'm having fun. So where did you go to school?
So I did undergraduate at Bucknell University up in Pennsylvania, and then I did a master's degree actually in educational technology, and I got a certificate in serious game research and development. So I was learning game design as part of that degree, and that was at Michigan State. And then I stayed on. I felt like at the end of the master's degree, I was like, I'm barely scratching the surface of the questions that have emerged. Again, about how groups work together, how people learn, how people figure stuff out. Yeah. And so I wanted to stick around for my PhD. So I stayed at Michigan State for that.
All right. And then you're freshly minted PhD graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you go from there?
I came here, yeah. So
really?
I got lucky and I got a job straight out. And this was all during the pandemic. So I had my graduation online with a 30-second PowerPoint, and then we moved that summer of 21. So like right at the tail end of the pandemic.
From Michigan to Florida.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Right. And so I've been here ever since.
Have you always been a gamer?
Yeah, I grew up. I mean, this is my age a little bit, but I grew up in the '80s playing Microsoft DOS games, like the 8-bit, 4-bit. I don't know, like real basic stuff. Just
holy
again,
cow.
It's a lot of fire, and I'm half paying attention, but it's all good.
Oh no.
Yeah, just trying to make some space.
Okay.
But see, look, our ghost friend is like hardly getting damaged at all, so it's all good. Yeah. Oh, they got us. Okay. You get some screams when we die.
You die.
Yeah, so I've always played games in a whole variety over the years. Yeah, it's fine.
This is great.
Yeah, they're small consequences, which is one of the great things about games, right? Like you encounter problems and the consequences of failure are minuscule. One of the trademarks of this game is that you accumulate basically experience points, and when you die, you lose all of them. And unless you can get back to where you lost them, they're gone forever. But you just strategically level up and use them, or use them to level up your weapons. So like I started today, last night, I basically cleared out. So whatever happens today, it doesn't matter.
It's all okay.
Yeah.
It's all fresh.
Yeah, it's all fine. Yeah,
Well, let's get to the interesting stuff.
Oh, sure.
So, I mean, you were looking at serious gaming. Are y'all familiar with serious gaming? It's gaming with a purpose, right?
Yeah, basically any game that was designed for a purpose other than entertainment. And so technically things like credit card points are a serious game or can be a serious game. even though they're not particularly fun or interesting and they're just to exploit money, that is a purpose that is not entertainment. So they kind of get lumped under that broad category of serious game. But then also games for learning, educational games that we probably all grew up with, and there are a million of them that are free on iPad or iPhone these days. So anything in that category. The angle of it that I always really enjoyed, though, was thinking about how do the games that I already play and love, how do they help me learn other things? Like, what are the more practical applications? So one of the ways that I always talk about this is I learned how to drive on the snow in Michigan and Pennsylvania by playing Mario Kart. So because the key of driving the snow is not braking suddenly, you gradually, you kind of go with it and drift on the curve. Right. Yeah. And don't hit the gas too hard, don't hit the brake too hard, otherwise you spin out. And that is accurate in real life too. Yeah. But it's all about feel. And so I learned the feel of that, like how to manage that through a video game. That was not intended for that purpose, but was a nice side benefit.
My son grew up, his favorite game was Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yep.
And he flew every kind of aircraft. And then we got him flight lessons at Tallahassee Airport. And he went into this little Cessna plane, and he told the instructor that he's flown this plane in Flight Simulator. And the guy basically let him take off and fly and land without hardly any instruction.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it.
How do you do?
And I was in the back seat, like throwing up, but that's another story. So, I'm sorry, y'all are eating. That was really a crude joke.
And he did okay?
He did great.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, we buzzed at Leon High School. I couldn't believe it. Wow. What they let you do in an airplane.
Yeah, there are a lot fewer regulations.
The marching band was out there practicing. Like,
and there are a lot of classic examples. Like I learned resource management, project management skills from playing things like StarCraft and these like real-time simulators, RTS games that were big 20 years ago. I don't know if anybody still plays StarCraft, but anybody StarCraft fans? Yeah. So, but it's just like you're micromanaging hundreds of units at once and trying to figure out your production order and your timing and it's a lot to keep track of, but again, there are applicable skills, right? Like, so I'm not controlling little alien units in real life, but if you take a step back and think, well, what are the mechanics of what I learned and am able to do? It actually teaches you about how do you balance things, and it's a systems thinking perspective, which I know you love.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Is that part of your research? Is that what you're...
Yeah, so my research is in self-directed learning, which is how we design and manage our learning processes for ourselves. And there are all kinds of different ways that can look. So I've done a lot of research in how people use social media potentially to cobble together resources and connect with people far beyond their geographic boundaries and you figure stuff out. That was more during my doctoral degree. That was really the focus, was at that social media level. I did a lot of work with teachers in particular, so educators and how educators are connecting with each other, what types of resources are out there. And then since I got to FSU, I've taken a little bit broader of a view and tried to focus more on what are the processes, what are the ways of doing it, not dependent on any particular technology. So I'm open to studying social media, but it's not the focus anymore. I'm open to, say, AI applications, but it's not the focus. It's really what is the human element, where is there human intelligence in the AI world that we live in? What are the things that people are doing and the decisions that people are making?
Yeah. No wonder you and I get along so well.
Yeah, and so here in the Innovation Hub, this is a lot of what we talk about. Somebody like Jackson will present like some brand new technology that's hot off the press, whether it's a VR headset or coding in Unity or using the new Gen AI video creation tools or whatever. And in this space, we're constantly being confronted with, well, nobody really knows how to use these things well, but as we pick them up, we have to figure it out, and then we keep pushing forward. As we establish ourselves, then we can teach a class on VR, but there's going to be some new technology, and then the process of figuring out the new thing or the changing thing. That's really what I'm interested in. What are the decisions that people are making,
and within a university setting. So it's some might view it as ironic that you're within this environment that believes strongly in the sage on the stage, the professor with the knowledge, imparting to the students and testing and drilling. And your interest is what people learn without that benefit.
Yes. Well, and so part of my thinking is, I'm backing away as I talk because
Maybe I call it running away.
But part of my thinking is that even if we've got the most brilliant instructors in the world, or the best designed courses in the world, the best training, the most timely professional development, all that stuff, in the end, all of us leave that and we sit down and we have to figure out, okay, now what? So even if I'm well trained and even if I'm well mentored, I still have to go and there's going to be a new problem. Oh, and they found me. There's a new problem I'm going to have to figure out.
Oh, he's handsome. What are these things?
These are, what are they called? Oh, they got me.
Oh, he's staring you down.
Beast, their boss is the
good.
Beast clergyman. Yeah, so that's part of the classic too. You died every single time you died.
What did you learn?
Well, I learned that I shouldn't talk to you so much. I shouldn't look away from the screen while playing a game.
You want me to sit next to the screen?
No, it's all good. It's all good. No, and again, none of this really matters because
I don't want to ruin
it's all good.
your credentials.
Yeah. So, sorry, what was the question before the what did I learn? Because I learned nothing. What was your question right before that?
That was a good. I don't remember. We were talking about the environment of working in higher education.
Oh yeah. So, even more fun. I'm in the instructional design program, and so we're all about intricately creating learning systems and every detail being thought through and every bit and every word in an online course and every activity in on-campus course painstakingly thought through. So that's what we do as our unit. And then I joke around with my colleagues. I'm like, but really what I'm interested in is once everybody leaves that stuff that we all work so hard to design, what do they go to afterwards? What do they do next week? What do they do when there's a new policy or new technology or an update or something breaks? So yeah, we can have the best laid plans in the world, and I think we need the best laid plans in the world.
Right.
As somebody who, I did a lot of my classes online, and I've sat through some terrible online classes. So I believe very strongly that we need the best possible design, but in the end, I think the real problems that matter in the world, we're going to have to make it up and have to figure it out. And so if we can understand how we go about doing that a little bit better, that's what I'm fascinated by.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I'm unsure whether we should talk about the learning experience in this game at this point. Why don't we do that? So gaming is a learning process, right?
Yeah.
And that is one of the environments that you. That's why you enjoy the gaming, because this is an example of learn or die.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, so the reason I like games is that and even one definition of a game is it's a set of arbitrary rules and obstacles. You know, there's not really a reason why we need to do any of this stuff, right? Like, it's just a made up world and made up challenges. And yet we subject ourselves to it because it's interesting to figure out how to solve these problems. And so, sorry. So in that, when you enter a game space, you are choosing to participate in unnecessary challenges in your life. Like, nobody needs to do this in their life, and yet we do it because it's an interesting exercise. I mean, there's research that shows it keeps our brains sharp. You know, there are plenty of reasons to stretch ourselves and push ourselves, and it's a little bit of a microcosm. And I said earlier, like, today there are no consequences. Like, basically I used the experience points that I had. So anything that happens today is fine. So there are no consequences. Whereas if we're solving, like in an idea sprint or hackathon here in the hub, like these are real world problems that have massive consequences if we get them wrong.
That was not kind at all.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just sorry, Ken. I'm not empathetic in this game. So anyway, so like if there are ways to learn skills and try and figure things out, this is the kind of space where you can just try things, try lots of different things. And there are games that are easier and harder. A lot of the reason in my world of education and thinking about learning, like how people learn and the theories of how people learn, there's some really catchy titles that are out there from years past. One that I love is called The Zone of Proximal Development, or ZPD, from a Russian dude named Vygotsky 50 years ago. And it's the idea that learning happens best when you're at the right difficulty level. If things are too hard, you just get mad and you quit. Right. You kind of know, like, this is impossible, and I'm never going to make it, so I'm just not going to try. I'm not even going to try. And then if it's too easy, we get bored. And that's actually not very good for learning either. And so I think a lot of the challenge is, how do you find that balance? And I think this is what a lot of educational games do badly, because they're pretty much like, the gaming part is easy, because I think, they're like, well, we want people to learn, we don't want to make it too hard, but then it's boring, right? And so you're not really stretched or challenged all that much. And this is maybe 20, 30 years ago. I have a little bit of a bias, because when I was growing up, those games just kind of all sucked. I think there are probably some that are a little bit better now.
My daughter used to love all the Harry Potter games, and she would get to some room that she had to get through, and just get so frustrated, she would just go online and Google, and they'd say, cast this spell on the fireplace and you can kill the beast and move on. So is that a part of gaming, is just looking up the solution?
Yeah, well, so it's part of self-directed learning, and so there's a nice cinematic if you want to half pay attention. We're almost to your challenge, by the way. A nice, easy challenge for you. This is one of the most epic moments in the game.
Okay, well, I want something challenging. Something difficult.
Ken, every single thing in this game is challenging if you've never played before. Okay. So don't worry.
You make it look so easy. I just push the guy off the cliff, run around.
Super easy. Well, so this is one of the more epic moments, a fairly difficult boss that I saved just for you, because it's a really nice cinematic. And then after this, we'll go back to, like, the starting zone, and and then we'll laugh at you as you also are terrible there. So that's us. We're sitting up. We kind of got transported into the middle of the swirling vortex. So now we're in this giant arena in the center of the vortex. So again, first time you come here, and if the volume was a little bit higher, like with the music, it's very epic.
Very moving.
It's a very, very cool moment when you first get here. But going back to your point of, so is this part of gaming? It's a little bit, the answer, right, in academia is always, it depends. And so it depends on what your goal is. And this is one of my things for self-directed learning is, it's not just how do you go about learning, but where do you start? How do we get a sense of our starting place? And the first thing that we have to identify is, well, what is your goal? And so, I'm going to hand you a goal, which is, like, fight this dragon, and you're going to do awesome. Do you want your ghost friend, or you just want to take it because you're awesome and it's basically Mario?
Oh, yeah, I don't need a ghost.
Okay, so, all right, so here you go. So just kind of wander over towards the thing in the sky, and it's all going to be fine. It's going to be super easy.
Let's go, kid!
Yeah, so...
Can I press any buttons or anything?
You can press any buttons you want. You can do anything.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah.
Yep. The world is your oyster.
Look what I did.
Yeah, you brought the ghost friend. Good job.
I need you, ghost.
So it's Dragon Lord, but he's not really that.
I'm gonna sneak up from behind. See? Why are you laughing?
I thought this was gonna last about 2 seconds, so you're doing great. You're avoiding the red lightning. That's good. Yeah.
I figured that was a
general
bad thing.
Yeah. See, it's just like Mario Kart. You're
take that, dragon. Hey. What happened?
Hey, you got some. I don't know if that was you or the ghost, but you did like
that was
much
all
damage.
me.
Yeah. All right, here. Let me take you to another place. All right.
All right.
I'll. So
better than you thought.
Well, let's pause. Yeah, you did better. You lasted longer.
Really
yeah, you rolled a few times. Yeah, so you did better than I thought. Okay, but let's say in life, or in this case, like I handed you an objective, like, hey, fight this dragon. It'll be fun. It didn't go very well.
No.
So what would you do next? I'll turn it back on you. What would your next move be?
I would try it a few times and try different strategies.
Okay.
See what would
okay.
work.
And what do you think? Like, you pressed some buttons and did different things. Do you have any strategies in mind? Or how would you go about figuring that out?
I would go right instead of left.
Okay, so this is a special place for you, Ken. It's called the Artist Shack.
Yes.
So it's a very nice, friendly place.
Okay.
Right?
Sounds nice and peaceful.
Yeah, it's very, very peaceful. There's a painting we can look at.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. And it's a totally different environment. So this is sort of the lake country. But yeah, let's wander over here. So again, these are some different objectives, right? Like you could just want like a way to play a game like this. It would just be, I want to do enough just so I can wander around and look at cool things because the graphics are truly stunning. Anyway, so you can collect paintings like this. So you could just be a collector. Like, well, my objective in the game is I just want to collect everything that I can, I'll fight stuff to achieve that. It's just, it really is. Like, you just go around and there are some options to like sit down and like meditate, and so you could like sit on this rock and just like look up at this burning tree if that was what you're into. So that could be an objective.
Right.
Or it could be, I just want to get to the end, or I just really want to beat that one dragon because Bret told me that it was easy. But you need to decide what is your objective going in, and then that can change what you do, right? Like depending on what your objective is. So, all right, one of the things I'm going to show you was
kind of like Minecraft. So but we used to play it without any threats at all.
Yeah.
Just build stuff, right?
All right, so I'm changing our outfit. And so, online, when I read about this game on Reddit, there's this concept called aura farming, so A-U-R-A, and it's using the slang, it's all about the drip. It's all about how you look. And so there are people that are like, I don't even care about my stats. I don't care how well I play. I just want to look cool. And so actually when I was starting the game, I went out of my way to find all the pieces of this outfit. Because I started as a samurai class. You can choose your class. Anyway, this is all stuff at the beginning of the game, but you can choose your class. I started as a samurai, but I'm like, I want to look as epic as possible. I don't even care about the stats. And I found some guide online of like, here's like the most epic looking samurai in the game. So I went and all random places and found all the pieces of this to look like this.
And everyone was amazed that you're...
I mean, nobody ever, the few people that I ever watched me play, were amazed. So that's, that's an option.
Okay.
And then I'll show you a couple updates. And then I defeated this guy, Malekith, who is if you do a Google search at some point, once you defeat the big bosses of this game, they don't come back. But he was just this like awesome tiger humanoid thing, wearing this like completely badass armor. So every once in a while I'll throw this on just because it looks so cool.
That's good.
So that, so again, if looking cool is your objective, there are ways that you can do that. It's not necessarily what the game developers intended, but that's one of the great things, right? Is that you can play the game in a lot of different ways. And one of the great things as a game designer is that people can create new scenarios and discover things that the game designer never thought they never had in mind when they set up their arbitrary set of rules and challenges, and then people do things. So like tennis matches that last 12 hours.
Yeah, this is a good look.
Yeah, so this look. And again, this is a little bit unexpected, but there's this guy. And so one of the other mechanics that I'm not going to show you because we're playing offline right now, but one of the other mechanics of this game is that you can summon other humans around the world. And so again, your objective might be, I just want to go help other people or help my friend. And like if you wanted to start playing, like one of my objectives might become, I'm going to help Ken figure out this game because it's a game I've really enjoyed and I really want my buddy Ken to get the most out of this. So my objective shifts from what it's been. But there's this guy, and his username is Let Me Solo Her. And in this game, the her, everybody knows, refers to one of universally acclaimed hardest boss in the game, maybe in the whole series of games, in a very hard set of games, maybe the hardest boss in any game ever. And this guy, his objective was, let me learn every move and timing of this one boss in one part of this one game. And I think he's fought this one boss, was it like 10,000 times or something? I mean, he just like churns through every day. He helps everybody defeat. And so the joke is that he goes in completely naked, other than the little loincloth thing you start with, and a pot on his head.
The bucket on his head.
And a bucket on his head. And I think he usually uses 2 katanas, but basically he doesn't get hit. because he has fought this boss so many times. He knows every single move, can anticipate and dodge in exactly the right way every time. And the idea of let me solo her is like, if you summon this guy, you just get to sit back and watch the master do his thing in ways that, again, if you or I were, even I played this game for a lot of hours, I would still lose immediately, and you would lose immediately. But and so it's an opportunity. Like if your goal is just let me get to the end of the game, let me get the gear from this boss, then let me summon this guy to help me, and then you can sit back and watch. Mm-hmm. And then this guy, his purpose is I just want to help people, and I'm really, really good. As people debate like who's the greatest player of this game ever, some people raise him as an example because he's done so much for people that have played. And he would argue like, no, like I got really good at one specific thing. Uh-huh. And again, that is a way to play the game. That is an objective that is perfectly valid. So all that to say, as we figure out like how do you overcome that dragon, a big challenge, major challenge, the first thing is, well, what is your point? What are you trying to do? Do you want to look cool as you defeat the dragon? Do you just want to defeat the dragon it doesn't matter? Yeah. And that will determine how you go about doing it. Okay. And so then the second piece is, we'll switch this up. So I'm gonna have you take on another challenge here in a sec. So I'm not gonna make you do that naked. I'll actually put on one of the beefier, this is one of the beefiest armor sets you can get.
All right, thank you.
So it'll protect you a little bit. Okay. So now you look like a cool demon dude.
Thank you.
But you're going to be able to take hits a lot better. And so now we just need to wander down the hill a little bit to the place. All right. So the second thing when we think about how do we overcome challenges is what is your starting point? What's in your inventory? What's in your brain of how games work? And this is for me, coming into this is my first game that I played in this whole Dark Souls, Bloodborne type series of games that are really hard. And again, are expecting a lot of you as a player of learning. But the first thing, and maybe people saw this at the beginning, the first thing is that the main point of this game is that it's a dodging simulator. So like if I just try and come up and like, he hits me, I hit him, he hits me, I hit him. Like if we just trade, he's going to beat me every time. And this is like not a very high level dude. And so the one of the first things from a lot of gaming, from my lifetime was, well, there's a particular way that you play games. You go in, there's a boss, you hit each other, but I'm the hero in almost every game. And so because of that, like if I just go back and forth with anything that I encounter, I'll probably win. If I gear up. And again, we've got really top level gear here. Mm-hmm. So, and again, we lost pretty badly. If he hits me, I hit him, you will lose. And this is like a early game type guy, and we have late game gear. Yeah. So it's not just about the gear. So it's a very different mindset. So that's part of what I need to recognize is as I'm coming into this learning challenge, what is my mindset? What experiences do I have? Why am I making the choices that I'm making? And again, for me, I was the hero of thousands of games in my lifetime, and I expected to be the hero in this game, and you're not. You're like a wretch. You were just a dude trying to survive. And so one thing that I read online at some point was one way to think about this game is it's a dodging simulator. So the most important thing in this game is to dodge. So I'm going to hand it to you. So with that knowledge, I'm handing you that initial knowledge.
I'm good at dodging.
Dodge, and then to figure out, and so the trick is figure out when is the enemy exposed so that you can hit them safely. But your main goal is to dodge.
Okay.
You're not...
I'm not dodging fast enough.
Right. So the nice thing about this is you're just going to start at the top of the hill so you can keep wandering down the hill. Okay. So we'll do this for a few minutes.
Who's laughing?
I think it's Jackson. Just got that. Jackson's laughing at you. Yeah. So again, but we have to recognize the way that our brains have been trained, right? And there are other problems. Yeah, that was good. No, this is part of the fun of this game is smashing stuff by rolling. Again, dodging simulator. Keep that in your head. You look epic.
I'm practicing dodging.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
You are trying to use an item
That is not
and
there.
you're not allowed to. So I think you're trying to summon your ghost, but this area is not hard.
Ooh, that's how you
So
jump,
the game is
okay.
not going to let you summon your ghost because this is not a challenging area.
I'm coming for you.
Yep. So, and again, in the Innovation Hub, right, we have to do this because we get these problems, and part of our starting point is what assumptions am I making? If we have a design sprint that's about, Ken, just dodge. Do nothing but dodge.
I'm dodging. He's very slow.
Okay.
I'm dying.
All right, try one more time.
Okay.
Just dodge. Yeah,
serious
just
now.
keep
Okay.
rolling.
Okay.
Roll. Again,
How
different
much time do we
mindset.
got?
You're gonna look like a weak fool, but just keep rolling.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll
All
see
right.
how long you can last
All
before
right.
you die.
I got this.
So again, I think any challenge that's worth addressing is a challenge that is going to challenge our assumptions. It's going to force us to look at, well, what's the quick and easy way to solve this that I have and I'm assuming, and we have to take a step back from that. We have to say, okay, no, what assumptions am I making? And in this game, the assumption is that you're a hero, because you're not. You're the assumption in the new mindset is
Darn it! Dodge!
You really need to dodge.
He's going where I'm dodging. See, I can't even move now. Roll.
Oh.
I was trying to roll. But
All right. You can
I
try.
think there's something wrong with this controller.
Yeah, there we go. Try one more time.
He's so
Okay.
hard.
All right. So all of that is just the starting point of tackling
Okay.
a challenge, right? Our learning process. It's okay. So what is your goal? And now your goal is to survive.
Yeah.
And what are your starting assumptions? What's your starting point?
That I'm good at
And
dodging.
hopefully we're adjusting that a little bit.
Okay. See a little jump? Pretty good jumper.
Yep. Yeah, you can jump. It's probably not going to help you against this particular guy, but
Because he's
it's
going
okay.
to take my head off.
Yeah. All right. So assuming that we can get clear on our goal.
Where'd he go?
Yeah,
There he is.
there it is. To the right. Yep. So assuming you can get clear on your goal and you have a good sense of your starting point, then the next piece is just practice. And so I brought you here because this actually was a place that I practiced a lot in the early game. So again, I'm being mean to you today, Ken.
Yeah. Hey! I was dodging really good.
Because in all,
Move! Oh, see, he's dead. He's already dead. Oh, there we go. Okay.
No, you're not dead yet.
We're skulking around.
I don't know why he wasn't hitting you, but yeah, there you go. If you stand still, maybe he won't hit you. That's a theory. Oh, here comes the lightning. Yep. So anyway,
Is this fun for you all, like me?
there have been some chuckles out there. So this was this early in the game. There was a dungeon where there was a guy, this similar soldier, standing in a hallway. And to get to the end of the dungeon, he wasn't even the boss. He was just a random guy filling up a hallway. But to get past him, you had to fight him in a very narrow hallway where you really couldn't dodge left or right very well. You could go forward and backwards. And so I died enough times trying to get by him that I'm like, I need to find a place where I can just go practice. And so another key piece in the self-directed learning journey is it just takes practice. And so eventually, again, I'm being unfair to you because I have 200 hours of playing this game, and even though this is a pretty early boss, I'm still expecting something of you where you didn't have the hours of practice that I had even before I got to this guy. And the goal would be, and again, the goal of practice is for meaningful
I don't know what I just did.
engagement. But
Sorry.
each of the things that this guy is doing, he tells you what he's going to do in advance. Like he moves his body, he lights up his sword. And so eventually you can start to recognize what's coming. And really every enemy in the game does this. And so this is why the guy can wear his loincloth and beat the hardest enemy in the game, is because he has learned to read the cues so well. And the only way, it's not like he's inherently better, he just spent hundreds if not thousands of hours practicing and noticing. And that's, again, as we tackle hard problems, that's a really key piece. How do you notice? How do you practice? How do you repeat enough times? Now with that, so again, that's on one hand, it's just keep trying.
Yeah.
And so I can say, keep trying, Ken, you're doing great.
Yeah.
The piece alongside that and the whole intention is to manage your difficulty level and to manage your emotions, to self-regulate. And so at a certain point, you might get frustrated with me or the controller or the game developers or the universe or whatever. Like, you might just be getting mad about everything because, at a certain point, dying a whole bunch of times in a row is not fun for anyone.
I'm angry now.
And so one of the key things is to know. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So you're feeling. So one of the key things is to notice that in yourself.
Yeah.
And so when you get frustrated, yes, practice is good, and it's important to learn the move set of this particular person.
Right.
But in the end, you just hit a wall, and it might be time to go practice elsewhere.
Go to Google.
Yeah. Well, so first is to manage.
Show us how easy it is.
Sure.
Oh, I'm gonna get back. It's impossible. Nobody can do this.
All right. So I'll try and start with a lot of dodging, so you can
Yeah.
see.
So tell
see
us
more than
exactly
this.
your deepest theories of education and gaming, and how we can learn about.
Well, so again, I have been. It's to say, what's your objective? And so the objective here is I'm trying to both beat,
No, just trying to
beat
distract
this
you.
guy.
I
I know.
can see it.
So okay. So look. So another trick is
Okay.
there's a target lock, and so if I press down on the right stick, it's gonna see that circle on him.
Yeah.
That way, no matter where I go or how I dodge, it's always gonna stay focused on him. This helps a lot.
Oh yeah.
And so
I'd say
like I can
so.
just keep dodging, but you were kind of wandering around aimlessly, like he kept hitting you in the back.
Yeah.
This way, at least he'll punch me in the face. So like I can stand here, hits me in the face, but I can see it coming. So then he does a long, slow wind up. Now he's gonna stomp, and normally he would stomp there, and yep. So then I want to dodge away when he does that. Okay, let's see what he's got. Oh, so now swipe. Oh,
Nice.
okay, and then long, heavy hit. He's probably going to do his lightning thing if we back up enough. He's got, okay, so now he's, yep, so that, and normally after that, see how long it took to recover? That would be a good time to run in and hit him. Okay, and so now he's swiping.
Oh,
So we
nice
dodge
dodging.
Again, yep. So, and again, see how we're focused?
Mm-hmm.
So we
Yeah,
stay
that
on him,
helps
so
a
that
lot. I
helps.
wish you'd told me about that.
Yeah, well, again, just learning little by little. I'm trying to get him to do his lightning thing. So usually if you back up enough.
Could you do this? Could you do this guy? I know you played this before, right?
So, okay, so, yep. All right. Trying to teach too much. Okay, so now he does his slide shield, so then we can heal. So that's another thing you don't know about. Okay, here's the lightning. So, yep, got to dodge. So when he points to the sky, you know the lightning bolt is coming a second later. So
Okay,
now,
I see it.
Yep, and so, okay, yep, so long, slow swing. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, so, yep, it's straightforward. Okay, and he does the shield thing. That's pretty slow. Yep, so now see, yep. Are you starting to pick up some of these?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, and yep, and swipe. I should have dodged that better, but it's fine. Yep, and does that slow thing so I can heal. Yep, and does the shield. So he's only got, I don't know, how many moves is this? Probably half dozen. So it's not that many things. And again, when I first threw you in there, so yeah, that's easy. We just keep backing up. Long swipe, back swipe. Yep, okay, I should have dodged again. Okay, lightning. Oh, so yep, see dodge back.
Whoa.
And so again, like the point here in practice is just to again, my objective here is to show you things, right? Rather than let me just defeat him. And this is, in a lot of games, it's like you can get past challenges fairly easily, and that's fine. But it might be that you need to learn. Because every time that I came here and fought this guy, it was really not to fight him. I could just walk around him. He's not important. It was to learn the move set. I wanted to learn all the moves so that when I fight him in a narrow hallway, I can survive and get past him in that dungeon. Because the end of the dungeon had a treasure chest, and I wanted the gear at the end of that.
Okay.
So again, this fight doesn't, again, the objective here is not to beat this guy. It's to learn. And specifically to recognize the move set.
Right. Yeah, that's cool.
And so again, like these are types of things. So if you are trying to figure stuff out in the Innovation Hub and you're trying to teach yourself a programming language, it might not be just to make the program work, right? Like you might want to break things or just try enough things that you understand a new aspect of how Python works. It's not just, can I write a program? It's do I understand the components of it and how it all works? Because in the end, like your little program that you're writing probably doesn't matter that much. But if you can develop a skill set, that's really what it's all about.
So we're down to our last few minutes.
I don't know. It went by already.
I know.
All right. I guess I should.
Time flies when you're playing a game.
So anyway, so dodging simulator, right? I just keep dodging. We could do this all day. All right.
Some people can.
All right. So I have this other move that I didn't show you. All right, we got him. I took more damage than I should have, but yeah. Anyway, so we got him.
Thank you.
I should have done that without getting hit, but
he was bothering me. I'm glad you put him out.
So there we go. And again, he's a fairly inconsequential enemy. So if we go back up and save the game and restart, he's going to be right back there. So for practice sake, he's a pretty good enemy because you will just keep encountering him as many times as you want. Yeah. So that's the idea of thinking through, what am I trying to do here? How do I go about doing it? How do I get myself the practice I need while managing my emotions and frustration? And then you mentioned getting help. So that is always an option. So even in self-directed learning, it doesn't mean you're alone. Self-directed doesn't mean isolated. It is still fine, again, depending on what your purposes are. It's okay to ask a friend. It's okay to get online. It's okay to watch YouTube. Kind of whatever it is to help you achieve. Like if you want, again, if your objective is, I just want to enjoy the story of this game because there's so much going on and you don't want to spoil it.
Right.
And there's so much that the first time that you encounter something, it's just magical. It's just incredible. And so again, if that's your objective of, I want to immerse myself in this game and just experience it, then that might mean you die more times because you're not going to go look online and watch YouTube videos because you don't want to spoil the story aspect of it. Or if you're like, there are people that set arbitrary challenges. There's a whole group of people that they have what are called no-hit runs. So they go through the entire game without ever getting hit by an enemy. Like they are so good at the dodging simulator part of it that they'll go through the whole thing and never get hit. Yeah. And they'll never level up. But again, that's just an extra thing because that's how they wanted to play the game.
So to apply that to situations that students and everybody might face, what kind of learning situations do you find yourself in where you can apply these theories?
Yeah,
so strategies.
So going back to my research, I do a lot of kind of data science type stuff. I'm interested a lot of times in how do we collect massive amounts of data from social media websites and other websites, job boards, that kind of thing. And I want to collect a lot of data all at once. And so I'll use R and Python and other tools to do that. And so, these days, I can use Gen AI tools for some suggestions, but most of the things that I want to do are so specific that they might give me a suggestion that like half works or like maybe 20% works, and then I need to parse out like, okay, so what in the suggestion from the AI was helpful and what is just taking me in an entirely wrong direction. Like if I'm trying to scrape data off a website, there are some pieces that might work, but there's a lot that I need to figure out on my own. And so it's a lot of that thinking of, okay, well, what do I know? How did I solve a problem similar to this in the past? What can I apply? What code can I bring forward from things that I figured out before? And then how might I apply it here? What does AI, so I'll turn to that external source of AI. What does AI suggest? How do I test, try something, tweak something, try something else, read a different guide, look up on a different forum, ask a different Gen AI. But it's because I'm trying to do something really specific that somebody else might not have ever done before.
Yeah,
so in coding and programming a lot.
Right. And I would say that these skills are becoming increasingly important because of the rapid advancement of technologies. All of us are trying to keep up with this stuff.
Yeah, right? and that's part of it is that we get new physical hardware. We have new capabilities. I see Eric do this every day. As we get new stuff in the Fab Lab. The other joke of this game is that the crabs and the lobsters are the hardest enemies. Okay, we were way over level for that one, but in general, like if you were on level and fought that guy, it would mess you up more than that knight with the fancy armor. Because we keep encountering new things in the world, new technologies, new software, and new regulations in education, new policies. There's always some new policy, new curriculum, new thing that we need to adhere to. And because of that, we just always have to adapt. Like the world is changing around us so much And so it's the mindset and the procedures of how do we adapt. That's really what I'm interested in.
Yeah, awesome. Well,
And again, games are
thank you,
microcosms of
Bret.
that.
Join me in thanking Bret Staudt Willet for being here with us today.
And thank you, Ken, for being a good sport. You dodge back.
Whoa.
And so again, like the point here in practice is just to again, my objective here is to show you things, right? Rather than let me just defeat him. And this is, in a lot of games, it's like you can get past challenges fairly easily, and that's fine. But it might be that you need to learn. Because every time that I came here and fought this guy, it was really not to fight him. I could just walk around him. He's not important. It was to learn the move set. I wanted to learn all the moves so that when I fight him in a narrow hallway, I can survive and get past him in that dungeon. Because the end of the dungeon had a treasure chest, and I wanted the gear at the end of that.
Okay.
So again, this fight doesn't, again, the objective here is not to beat this guy. It's to learn. And specifically to recognize the move set.
Right. Oh, that's cool.
And so again, like these are the types of things. So if you are trying to figure stuff out in the Innovation Hub and you're trying to teach yourself a programming language, it might not be just to make the program work, right? Like you might want to break things or just try enough things that you understand a new aspect of how Python works. It's not just, can I write a program? It's do I understand the components of it and how it all works? Because in the end, like your little program that you're writing probably doesn't matter that much. But if you can develop a skill set, that's really what it's all about.
So we're down to our last few minutes.
I don't know, it went by already?
I know.
All right, I guess I should
Time
try
flies
and
when you're
okay.
playing a game.
So anyway, so dodging simulator, right? I just keep dodging. You can do this all day. All right.
Some people can.
All right. So I have this other move that I didn't show you. All right, we got him. I took more damage than I should have, but yeah. Anyway, so we got him.
Thank you.
I should have done that without getting hit, but
He was bothering me. I'm glad you put him out.
So there we go. And again, he's a fairly inconsequential enemy. So if we go back up and save the game and restart, he's going to be right back there. So for practice sake, he's a pretty good enemy because you will just keep encountering him as many times as you want. Yeah. So that's the idea of thinking through what am I trying to do here? How do I go about doing it? How do I get myself the practice I need while managing my emotions and frustration? And then you mentioned getting help. So that is always an option. So even in self-directed learning, it doesn't mean you're alone. Self-directed doesn't mean isolated. It is still fine. Again, depending on what your purposes are, it's okay to ask a friend. It's okay to get online. It's okay to watch YouTube. Kind of whatever it is to help you achieve. Like if you want, again, if your objective is, I just want to enjoy the story of this game because there's so much going on and you don't want to spoil it.
Right.
And there's so much that the first time that you encounter something, it's just magical. It's just incredible. And so again, if that's your objective of, I want to immerse myself in this game and just experience it, then that might mean you die more times because you're not going to go look online and watch YouTube videos because you don't want to spoil the story aspect of it. Or if you're like, there are people that set arbitrary challenges. There's a whole group of people that they have what are called no-hit runs. So they go through the entire game without ever getting hit by an enemy. Like they are so good at the dodging simulator part of it that they'll go through the whole thing and never get hit. Yeah. And they'll never level up. But again, that's just an extra thing because that's how they wanted to play the game.
So to apply that to situations that students and everybody might face, what kind of learning situations do you find yourself in where you can apply these theories?
Yeah,
strategies?
So going back to my research, I do a lot of kind of data science type stuff. I'm interested a lot of times in how do we collect massive amounts of data from social media websites and other websites, job boards, that kind of thing. And I want to collect a lot of data all at once. And so I'll use R and Python and other tools to do that. And so, these days, I can use Gen AI tools for some suggestions, but most of the things that I want to do are so specific that they might give me a suggestion that like half works or like maybe 20% works, and then I need to parse out like, okay, so what in the suggestion from the AI was helpful and what is just taking me in an entirely wrong direction. Like if I'm trying to scrape data off a website, there are some pieces that might work, but there's a lot that I need to figure out on my own. And so it's a lot of that thinking of, okay, well, what do I know? How did I solve a problem similar to this in the past? What can I apply? What code can I bring forward from things that I figured out before? And then how might I apply it here? What does AI, so I'll turn to that external source of AI. What does AI suggest? How do I test, try something, tweak something, try something else, read a different guide, look up on a different forum, ask a different Gen AI. But it's because I'm trying to do something really specific that somebody else might not have ever done before.
Yeah, and
so in coding and programming a lot.
Right. And I would say that these skills are becoming increasingly important because of the rapid advancement of technologies. All of us are trying to keep up with this stuff.
Yeah,
right?
and that's part of it, is that we get new physical hardware. We have new capabilities. I see Eric do this every day, as we get new stuff in the Fab Lab. The other joke of this game is that the crabs and the lobsters are the hardest enemies. Okay, we were way over level for that one, but in general, like if you were on level and fought that guy, it would mess you up more than that knight with the fancy armor. Because we keep encountering new things in the world, new technologies, new software, and new regulations in education, new policies. There's always some new policy, new curriculum, new thing that we need to adhere to. And because of that, we just always have to adapt. Like the world is changing around us so much. And so it's the mindset and the procedures of how do we adapt. That's really what I'm interested in.
Yeah, awesome. Well,
and again, games are microcosms of that. Yeah.
Join me in thanking Bret Staudt Willet for being with us today.
And thank you, Ken, for being a good sport.